Amara's hands trembled as she stared at the eviction notice taped to her apartment door. 30 days. She had 30 days to come up with 3 months back rent or she'd be on the street. Her catering business had barely survived the past year, and now this. Rough day. She jumped at the deep voice behind her. Turning, she found herself face to face with a man who looked like he'd stepped out of a noir film. Sharp jawline, perfectly styled black hair, and eyes so dark they seemed to see straight through her. His tailored suit probably cost more than her entire wardrobe. "Can I help you?" Amara asked, instinctively straightening her spine. "Actually, I believe I can help you." He gestured to the notice. "May we speak inside? I have a proposition." Every alarm bell in her head went off. "I don't know you." Min-jun Park. He extended a hand. "I attended your catering event last month. The Thompson anniversary. Your jollof rice was exceptional." Amara hesitated, then shook his hand. His grip was firm, warm. "That doesn't explain why you're at my door." "I need a date for my sister's wedding this weekend. I'll pay $50,000 for 3 days of your time." Her heart stopped. "Excuse me?" "You heard correctly." Min-jun's expression remained neutral, businesslike. "My family has been pressuring me to settle down. My sister's wedding will be crawling with eligible women my mother has handpicked. I need a buffer. Someone who can play the role convincingly." $50,000 to be your fake girlfriend? Amara crossed her arms. "What's the catch?" "Because that sounds insane." "The catch is my family. They're intense. And my business associates will be there. You'll need to be comfortable in high-pressure situations." He paused, his gaze traveling over her face. "You'll need to be convincing. Affectionate in public. Can you do that?" Amara's mind raced. 50,000 would cover her rent, her business debts, and give her breathing room for months. But this man radiated danger. Everything about him screamed power and secrets. "What kind of business are you in, Mr. Park?" His lips curved into something that wasn't quite a smile. "Import-export. Among other things." "That's vague." "It's intentional." Min-jun stepped closer. "Let's be clear, Miss Williams. I've done my research. You're drowning in debt. Your business is failing. You need this money, and I need a date who won't fall in love with me or my lifestyle. This is a transaction. Nothing more." The bluntness should have offended her, but Amara appreciated the honesty. "And after the wedding?" "We part ways. You'll sign an NDA. What happens that weekend stays between us." "NDA? For a wedding date." "My family values privacy. Especially my business." There it was again. That careful emphasis on business. Amara wasn't naive. She'd heard the whispers at the Thompson party. Park family. Korean Mafia. She'd thought they were exaggerating. "You're asking me to walk into something dangerous." Min-jun's expression softened slightly. "You'll be perfectly safe. I protect what's mine, even temporarily. My enemies know better than to touch anyone under my protection." "Your enemies?" Amara laughed, the sound slightly hysterical. "This is insane." "It's $50,000 for 3 days of acting." "Smile. Hold my hand. Pretend you find me charming. Can you do that?" Could she? Amara looked at him properly. Despite the danger radiating off him, Min-jun was breathtakingly handsome. Sharp features, broad shoulders, and an intensity that made her stomach flutter. Pretending to be attracted to him wouldn't be hard. Pretending it was fake might be the real challenge. "What about the sleeping arrangements?" "Separate rooms. Unless you'd prefer otherwise." His tone was neutral, but something flickered in his dark eyes. Heat. Interest. "Separate rooms," Amara said firmly, ignoring the way her body responded to that look. "Agreed." Min-jun pulled out his phone. "I'll have my lawyer draw up a contract. We leave Friday morning. The wedding is Saturday evening. We return Sunday. Pack formal wear. Everything else will be provided." "I haven't said yes." He looked at her, really looked at her, and Amara felt exposed. "Yes, you have. You said yes the moment I mentioned the money. The rest is just details." He was right, and they both knew it. Amara took a deep breath. "Fine. But I have conditions. No illegal activity around me. No putting me in actual danger. And respect. I'm not some paid escort. I'm doing you a favor." "Agreed." Min-jun extended his hand again. Do we have a deal, Miss Williams? Amara stared at his hand, knowing that shaking it would change everything. $50,000. 3 days. One very dangerous, very attractive Korean mafia boss. She took his hand. We have a deal, Mr. Park. His fingers tightened around hers, and that almost smile returned. Call me Min-jun. We should probably be on a first-name basis if we're dating. Amara, she replied, her heart hammering. And for the record, your jollof rice comment? That was a good opening line. This time, Min-jun actually smiled. It transformed his face, making him look younger, less dangerous. Almost approachable. Almost. I'll pick you up Friday at 8. Wear something comfortable for travel. And Amara? He leaned in close, his breath warm against her ear. Don't be nervous. I don't bite. Unless you ask nicely. Then he was gone, leaving Amara alone in the hallway, her hands still tingling from his touch and her mind spinning with what she'd just agreed to. 3 days. $50,000. One fake relationship. What could possibly go wrong? The contract arrived Thursday afternoon via a man in a black suit who looked like he could bench press a car. Amara signed it in her kitchen, her hand steadier than she expected. The money hit her account an hour later. $50,000. Real. Friday morning came too quickly. Amara stood outside her building at exactly 8, her vintage suitcase packed with her best dresses and her heart in her throat. A sleek black Mercedes pulled up, and Min-jun stepped out wearing dark jeans and a black sweater that hugged his frame in ways that should be illegal. Good morning. He took her suitcase with easy strength. You look nervous. I am nervous. I'm fake dating a mafia boss. Min-jun's lips twitched. Import-export businessman. Right. And I'm the Queen of England. Amara slid into the car's leather interior. It smelled like expensive cologne and danger. Min-jun joined her in the back, and the driver pulled away smoothly. We need to establish our story. How we met, how long we've been together, why I'm serious about you. Okay. Amara pulled out her phone. Should I take notes? If it helps. He shifted to face her, his knee brushing hers in the confined space. We met at the Thompson anniversary event. You were catering. I was immediately attracted to your confidence and the way you handled a kitchen crisis. There was a kitchen crisis? There will be in our story. You impressed me. I asked you out. You said no 3 times before agreeing. Amara raised an eyebrow. I like this version of me. I thought you would. Min-jun's eyes held amusement. We've been seeing each other for 2 months. Quietly, because I wanted to keep you away from family pressure until I was certain. Certain of what? That you could handle my world. His expression grew serious. Amara, my family will test you. They'll ask invasive questions. Judge everything. My mother especially. What should I know about your family? Min-jun settled back. My father is dead. Heart attack 3 years ago. My mother, Sun-hee, runs the legitimate side of our businesses now. She's traditional, sharp, and she will try to find your weaknesses. My sister, Ji-woo, is getting married. She's sweet but naive about what our family really does. And what do you really do? Do you want the truth or plausible deniability? Amara considered. Plausible deniability. I signed the NDA. Smart woman. Min-jun's approval felt warming. Just know that some of my father's old associates will be at the wedding. They may seem intimidating. Stay close to me. Is there actual danger? Not if you follow the rules. He counted on his fingers. 1. Don't wander off alone. 2. Don't discuss our relationship details with anyone but immediate family. 3. Don't accept drinks from anyone but me or the official servers. 4. If someone makes you uncomfortable, tell me immediately. Amara's stomach tightened. This sounds more serious than a wedding. It's my world, Amara. I warned you it was intense. Min-jun reached over, his hand covering hers. The touch was gentle, unexpected. But I meant what I said. I protect what's mine. For this weekend, that includes you. The possessiveness in his voice sent heat through her body. This was fake. She had to remember this was fake. What about the affection part? She asked. How far does this go? Min-jun's thumb traced circles on her hand. We should be comfortable touching. Holding hands.
My arm around you.
Maybe a kiss or two if the moment calls for it. Nothing that makes you uncomfortable. And the sleeping arrangements? The Park estate is massive. You'll have your own room in my wing. 4 appearances, we'll share a suite, but there's a connecting door. Privacy when you need it. You've thought this through. I always do. Min-jun released her hand, and Amara immediately missed the warmth.
We have a 3-hour drive. Tell me about yourself.
If we're dating, I should know more than your catering menu.
So Amara talked
about growing up in Lagos before moving to the States for college. Her love of cooking learned from her grandmother. The dream of owning a restaurant someday. Her failed engagement 2 years ago to a man who couldn't handle her ambition. Min-jun listened, really listened, asking questions that showed genuine interest. In turn, he shared carefully edited pieces of his life. Growing up between Seoul and Chicago. The pressure of being the eldest son. His love of classical music and old noir films. His sister's joy at marrying for love, something rare in their world. Do you believe in love? Amara asked as they crossed state lines. Min-jun's expression shuddered. I believe in loyalty.
Respect. Passion.
Love is a luxury people in my position rarely afford. That's sad. It's realistic. He met her gaze. What about you? Still believe after your broken engagement?
I want to, Amara admitted.
Maybe I'm naive, but I think real love is worth the risk. Something flickered across Min-jun's face.
Longing? Regret? It vanished before she could name it.
Let's practice, he said suddenly. Practice what? Min-jun unbuckled his seatbelt and shifted closer. Being affectionate. We should look natural together. Her heart hammered as he reached out, tucking a curl behind her ear. His fingers lingered on her jaw, tilting her face up. They were so close she could see gold flecks in his dark eyes. Is this okay? He murmured. Amara could barely breathe.
Yes. Good.
His thumb brushed her lower lip. Because at the wedding, I'll need to touch you like this. Like you're precious. Like I can't keep my hands off you.
Can you handle that?
I can handle it, she whispered, proud her voice didn't shake. Min-jun's eyes darkened.
We'll see.
He pulled back, leaving Amara flushed and confused.
This was practice.
Just practice. But her racing pulse and the heat pooling in her belly felt dangerously real. The rest of the drive passed in charged silence. When they finally pulled through massive iron gates into the Park estate, Amara's breath caught. The house was a modern masterpiece of glass and stone, sprawling across manicured grounds. Welcome to my family's home, Min-jun said.
Ready? No.
Absolutely not. But Amara nodded anyway. Min-jun took her hand as they walked to the entrance. Remember, you're mine this weekend. Act like it. The door opened before they reached it, and an elegant older woman appeared.
Min-jun Park.
Her sharp gaze swept over Amara with calculating precision. So, she said in perfect English. This is the girl who finally caught my son's attention. Min-jun's hand tightened on Amara's. Mother, this is Amara Williams. Amara, my mother. Amara smiled, channeling every ounce of confidence she possessed. It's wonderful to meet you, Mrs. Park. Sunhee's expression revealed nothing.
We'll see. Come inside.
We have much to discuss. As they crossed the threshold, Amara realized the game had truly begun. The Park estate was a maze of luxury. Sunhee led them through rooms filled with priceless art and furniture that probably cost more than Amara's entire business. Min-jun kept his hand firmly on the small of her back, a constant warm presence. You'll stay in Min-jun's suite, Sunhee announced, opening double doors to reveal a stunning space. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked gardens, and the bed was enormous. I trust you'll be comfortable. It's beautiful, Amara said honestly. Sunhee's sharp gaze assessed her. Min-jun tells me you're a chef. A caterer, yes ma'am. And your family? What do they do? Min-jun's fingers pressed warningly against her back. Mother, Amara just arrived. Perhaps the interrogation can wait. I'm simply getting to know the woman my son is serious about. Sunhee's smile didn't reach her eyes. That is what you said, isn't it? That this one is different. She is, Min-jun said, his voice firm. He pulled Amara closer, his arm wrapping around her waist. Which is why I'd appreciate you not scaring her off before dinner. Something passed between mother and son. Finally, Sunhee nodded. Dinner is at 7.
Don't be late.
Ji-woo is eager to meet her future sister-in-law. When the door closed behind her, Amara exhaled heavily. She hates me. She doesn't hate you. She's testing you. Min-jun released her, moving to the connecting door. Your room is through here. Bathroom, closet, everything you need. I'll be on the other side if you need anything. Amara explored the guest room. It was smaller but equally luxurious, with a massive soaking tub and a closet already stocked with designer clothes in her exact size. Min-jun. She returned to find him loosening his collar, looking suddenly tired. How did you know my sizes? I pay attention. He gestured to the main room.
This is for show.
My mother has staff everywhere. They'll report that we're sharing a suite. But we're not actually sharing. Not unless you want to. His dark eyes met hers, and the air between them crackled. The offer stands, Amara. Whatever you're comfortable with. Before she could respond, a knock sounded. A young woman burst in, all bright smiles and excited energy. She was petite, beautiful, with Min-jun's same dark eyes.
Appa.
You're here. She threw herself at Min-jun, who caught her with a genuine smile that transformed his face.
Ji-woo.
Congratulations.
He kissed her forehead.
Where's your future husband? Dealing with seating charts. But I had to meet her first. Ji-woo turned to Amara, her excitement palpable.
You're Amara. Oh my God, you're gorgeous.
I can't believe my brother finally found someone. The warmth was so genuine that Amara couldn't help but smile. It's wonderful to meet you. Congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you.
I'm so happy you're here. Min-jun never brings anyone home. Ever. You must be special. Ji-woo grabbed Amara's hands. Tell me everything.
How did he propose?
Wait, did he propose? Are you engaged? Mother said he was serious, but... Ji-woo, breathe. Min-jun interrupted, amused. We're taking things slow.
Slow?
You never take anything slow.
Ji-woo studied them both.
But you look at her differently. Like she matters. Min-jun's expression softened as he glanced at Amara. For a moment, she forgot this was fake. The tenderness in his eyes felt devastatingly real.
She does matter, he said quietly.
Ji-woo squealed. I knew it. Okay, you have to sit with me at the rehearsal dinner tonight.
I want to know everything.
And Amara, if my brother does anything stupid, you tell me.
I'll straighten him out.
After Ji-woo finally left, Amara sank onto the bed. Your sister is sweet.
She is.
Too sweet for our world sometimes. Min-jun sat beside her, close enough that their thighs touched. She actually believes in happy endings. Don't you? I believe in protecting the people I care about. Everything else is negotiable. That's bleak. That's survival. Min-jun turned to face her. But for this weekend, we're a happy couple. Can you sell that at dinner? Amara studied his face. The sharp angles, the guarded eyes, the mouth that looked like it rarely smiled. I can try. Then let's practice some more. Before she could react, Min-jun cupped her face, his thumb stroking her cheek. At dinner, I'll touch you like this. I'll look at you like you're the only person in the room. I need you to look back like you feel the same. And how should I look? Amara whispered, her heart thundering. Like this. Min-jun's gaze dropped to her lips, heated and hungry.
Like you want me.
Like later, when we're alone, you'll let me touch more than just your face. Heat flooded Amara's body.
This was acting. Practice.
But her reaction was visceral, real. You're very good at this. So are you. His voice was rough. Your breathing changed. Your pupils dilated. If I kissed you right now, would you kiss me back?
This is supposed to be fake, Amara managed.
I know. But Min-jun didn't move away. Doesn't mean the chemistry isn't real. The moment stretched, charged with possibility. Then Min-jun pulled back, leaving Amara dizzy. Get ready for dinner. Wear something that makes you feel powerful. He stood, adjusting his sleeves. And Amara? Tonight, there will be people watching us who are very good at spotting lies. We need to be perfect. No pressure, she muttered. Min-jun's almost smile appeared.
You can handle it.
You've already impressed me. He disappeared into his room, leaving Amara alone with her racing thoughts. She chose a deep emerald dress from the closet that hugged her curves and made her skin glow. Bold gold earrings.
Red lips.
When she looked in the mirror, she saw a woman who could hold her own in any room. She found Min-jun waiting in a tailored black suit. His eyes darkened when he saw her. "Beautiful," he said simply, offering his arm. "Ready. As I'll ever be." They descended the grand staircase together. The dining room was already full of people, family, wedding party, some men in expensive suits who radiated danger. All conversation stopped when they entered. Sunhee sat at the head of the table. "Finally. Everyone, this is Amara Williams, Min-jun's girlfriend." The way she said girlfriend carried skepticism. But Min-jun's hand tightened on Amara's. "My partner," he corrected, his voice leaving no room for argument. "The woman I'm serious about." He pulled out her chair, his hand lingering on her bare shoulder. The touch sent electricity through her. As he sat beside her, his thigh pressed against hers under the table. Ji-woo beamed at them from across the table. Her fiancé, David, looked kind but nervous. The other guests watched with varying degrees of curiosity and calculation. An older man with silver hair and cold eyes raised his glass. "To young love." "How refreshing." "Uncle Tae," Min-jun acknowledged, his tone neutral. "You must tell us, Miss Williams, how you captured our Min-jun's heart."
"Many have tried.
All have failed." Every eye turned to Amara. This was the test. She felt Min-jun tense beside her. She smiled, reaching over to lace her fingers through Min-jun's on the table. "I didn't try. Maybe that's why it worked." Min-jun's hand squeezed hers. Under the table, his other hand found her knee, warm and possessive. "She challenges me," Min-jun added, his eyes on her face. "She doesn't care about my name or my money.
She sees me.
The real me." The words were for the audience, but something in his voice made Amara wonder if he meant them. "How romantic," Uncle Tae said dryly. "Let's hope it lasts." The rest of dinner passed in a blur of courses and questions. Min-jun never stopped touching her, his hand on her back, his fingers trailing down her arm, his knee pressed against hers. Each touch felt like a brand, marking her as his. By dessert, Amara's nerves were shot and her body was hyper-aware of every point of contact. "You're doing perfectly," Min-jun murmured in her ear, his breath warm against her skin. "I feel like I'm being hunted."
"You are.
But you're holding your own." His hand slid higher on her thigh under the table. "They believe us."
"Do you?"
The question slipped out before she could stop it. Min-jun's eyes met hers, and for a moment, the room faded away. "I'm starting to." Then Ji-woo was pulling them toward the garden for photos, and the moment shattered. But as Min-jun's arm wrapped around her waist, pulling her flush against his side, Amara realized something terrifying. She wasn't sure she was acting anymore. The wedding day arrived with brilliant sunshine. Amara woke in her luxurious bed, momentarily disoriented. Through the connecting door, she heard water running. Min-jun was already up. She found coffee waiting in the main suite with a note in sharp handwriting, "Had to handle business. Back by noon. Wedding at 4
M. Business. Right.
The kind that required men in dark suits and hushed conversations she glimpsed last night after dinner. Amara spent the morning with Ji-woo and the bridal party, getting hair and makeup done. The bride was radiant, buzzing with joy that made Amara's chest ache. This was real love, not the arrangement she and Min-jun were performing. "You're good for him," Ji-woo said as they sat together, watching the makeup artist work. "I've never seen Appa so relaxed. So happy. We've only been together 2 months." "Doesn't matter. I can tell." Ji-woo squeezed her hand. "He needs someone who isn't afraid of him. Someone who sees past all the walls he builds." Guilt twisted in Amara's stomach. This girl genuinely believed they were real.
Ji-woo.
"I know what my family does," Ji-woo interrupted softly. "I'm not naive. I know the weight Min-jun carries. That's why I'm glad he found you. Everyone deserves love. Even people like us." Before Amara could respond, her phone buzzed. "Min-jun, sweet.
Now. Please."
The please sent worry through her. She excused herself and hurried back, finding Min-jun pacing, his shirt partially unbuttoned, tension radiating from every line of his body. "What's wrong?" "Change of plans." He ran a hand through his hair, destroying its usual perfect style. Yuri is here. Who's Yuri?
My ex.
The one my mother wanted me to marry. Min-jun's jaw clenched. She brought her father. He's one of my business partners. This is a power play.
Okay.
Amara processed this. So we just continue as planned? It needs to be more convincing. Min-jun crossed to her, his eyes intense. Yuri knows me. She'll spot hesitation. We need to look inseparable. Obsessed with each other. How do we do that? Min-jun's hands framed her face, tilting it up.
We stop holding back.
The touches, the looks, everything. It needs to be real enough that even I almost believe it. Amara's heart hammered. Min-jun. I know this isn't what we agreed. His thumb traced her lower lip. But I need you, Amara. I need you to help me get through this wedding without my mother matchmaking and Yuri thinking she has another chance. The vulnerability in his voice undid her. What do you need me to do?
Stay close. Let me touch you.
And if I kiss you? His gaze dropped to her mouth. Kiss me back like you mean it. This is still fake, Amara whispered, trying to convince herself.
I know.
But the way he looked at her said otherwise. The wedding ceremony was stunning. An outdoor affair in the gardens, flowers everywhere, string quartet playing. Amara sat beside Min-jun in the front row, his arm around her shoulders, her head resting against him. To anyone watching, they looked like lovers stealing quiet moments. There, Min-jun murmured against her hair, his breath sending shivers through her.
Yuri.
3 rows back, red dress. Amara resisted the urge to look. The woman was beautiful, classically elegant, perfectly poised. Everything Amara wasn't. She's gorgeous.
She's calculating.
Min-jun's arm tightened. She wants what I can give her.
Power. Status.
You want none of that.
I want your money, Amara pointed out.
For your business.
Your independence.
Not to own me. His fingers traced patterns on her bare shoulder. There's a difference. The ceremony began, and Amara watched Jiwoo marry her David with genuine love shining between them. When they kissed, the crowd erupted in applause. Min-jun's hand found Amara's, threading their fingers together. That's what real looks like, he said quietly, something wistful in his voice. The reception exploded with music, laughter, and champagne. Amara found herself swept into Min-jun's arms for the first dance after the bride and groom. I don't know how to dance like this, she admitted as he pulled her close. Follow my lead. His hand splayed across her lower back, burning through the thin fabric of her gold dress. And look at me like you can't look away. That wasn't hard. Up close, Min-jun was devastating. The sharp line of his jaw, the intensity in his dark eyes, the barely controlled power in his frame. Amara let herself drown in him, swaying to music that seemed to fade into background noise. You're beautiful, Min-jun said, and it didn't sound like a line. His hand slid lower, possessive. I can't stop thinking about last night. How you felt against me. Min-jun.
I know. Fake.
But it doesn't feel fake right now. His lips brushed her temple. Tell me you don't feel this. Amara couldn't. The chemistry between them was undeniable, electric. What happens after this weekend? I don't know. His honesty surprised her. I should let you go. That was the deal.
Should.
Want and should are different things. Min-jun spun her, pulling her back against him, his mouth at her ear. I want to keep you. Want to see where this goes when it's not pretend. Before Amara could respond, a cool voice interrupted. Min-jun, introduce me. Yuri. Up close, she was even more stunning, with razor-sharp cheekbones and eyes that assessed Amara like a threat. Yuri. This is Amara, my girlfriend. Min-jun's arm wrapped around Amara's waist, anchoring her to his side. Amara, this is Yuri Choi. An old friend. Friend. Yuri's smile was ice. How diplomatic. And how convenient that you finally found someone right before my father and yours were to discuss our potential union. There was never going to be a union, Min-jun said flatly. You and I are finished. We have been for years. Your mother disagrees. Yuri's gaze raked over Amara dismissively. She told me this was temporary. That you were simply exploring. Rage flashed across Min-jun's face. Before he could speak, Amara stepped forward. Then she's wrong. Amara met Yuri's stare directly. Min-jun isn't exploring. He's committed.
To me.
How sweet. Yuri's laugh was cruel. Tell me, do you even know what you're competing for? The Park Empire? The power? Or do you actually believe he loves you? The words struck deep, but Amara refused to flinch. I don't need to believe anything. I know him. The real him. Not the version you want him to be. Bold words from someone he's known for weeks. Better weeks of truth than years of pretending. Amara felt Min-jun's hand tighten on her hip, felt his approval radiating through the touch. Yuri's composure cracked slightly. We'll see how long you last. She swept away, leaving tension crackling in her wake. Min-jun pulled Amara closer, his forehead dropping to hers. That was incredible, he breathed. You didn't back down. She was trying to intimidate me. She failed. Min-jun's hands cupped her face. God, I want to kiss you right now. Then do it, Amara heard herself say. Everyone's watching anyway. Something wild flashed in Min-jun's eyes. Then his mouth was on hers, hot and demanding. The kiss started as performance but became something else entirely, desperate, hungry, real. His tongue swept against hers, claiming, and Amara melted into him, her hands fisting in his jacket. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, the entire reception was staring. Jiwoo was grinning. Sunhee looked shocked. Yuri's face was pale with fury. Well, Min-jun said roughly, his thumb stroking Amara's swollen lips. I think they believe us now. That wasn't for them, Amara whispered, her body still humming.
No.
His eyes burned into hers. It wasn't. Uncle Tae appeared, breaking the moment. Min-jun. We need to discuss the Singapore shipment. Later.
Now.
The older man's tone brooked no argument. Your lady can spare you for 10 minutes. Min-jun's jaw clenched, but he nodded.
Stay here. I'll be right back.
He pressed a quick, hard kiss to Amara's lips. Don't accept drinks from anyone. Don't wander off. Promise me. I promise. She watched him disappear into the house with Uncle Tae and several other men.
Business.
The dangerous kind that made her stomach twist. Amara made her way to the bar, needing water. The bartender handed her a glass just as a smooth voice spoke behind her. So you're the one who tamed the wolf. She turned to find a handsome man in his 30s, expensive suit, dangerous smile. Something about him set off alarm bells. I don't think anyone tames Min-jun. Smart answer. He extended a hand. Kai Nakamura. I do business with the Park family. Amara shook briefly, then stepped back. Nice to meet you. You're American. From the South, I'd guess? That accent is charming. Nigerian, actually. But I've lived here for years. Fascinating. Kai moved closer. Tell me, does Min-jun know how lucky he is? A woman like you, stuck at a wedding with his family instead of somewhere romantic. I'm exactly where I want to be.
Loyal.
I admire that. His smile sharpened. Though loyalty in our world often gets people hurt. You seem like a nice girl.
Smart.
You should be careful who you trust. Before Amara could respond, Min-jun appeared like a storm, his hand clamping on her arm. His face was thunderous. Nakamura. Step away from her.
Now.
Kai raised his hands in mock surrender. Just being friendly. Be friendly somewhere else. Min-jun pulled Amara against him, fury radiating from his frame. When Kai disappeared, he turned to her. Are you okay? Did he touch you?
Just talked.
Min-jun, you're shaking.
He's dangerous.
Rival family. I told you not to talk to strangers. I didn't know.
I know.
Min-jun's forehead pressed to hers, his breathing ragged.
I know.
I need you safe. I need you with me. The raw emotion in his voice made Amara's chest tight. This wasn't performance. This was real fear, real possessiveness, real feeling.
I'm safe, she promised.
I'm right here. Min-jun's arms wrapped around her, holding her like she might disappear. Around them, the reception continued, but in their bubble, everything had shifted. This wasn't fake anymore. Maybe it never had been. And that terrified Amara more than any danger at this wedding. The reception lasted until midnight. By the time Min-jun led Amara back to their suite, her feet ached from dancing and her head spun from champagne and adrenaline. He'd kept her close all evening, his touch constant, his eyes never leaving her for long. Now, in the quiet of their rooms, reality crashed down. "I should change," Amara said, suddenly nervous. The connecting door to her room seemed miles away.
Wait.
Min-jun caught her wrist, his touch gentle. "We need to talk." About the fact that I kissed you tonight and it had nothing to do with our arrangement." His dark eyes searched hers. "About the fact that when I saw Nakamura near you, I wanted to tear him apart." Amara's heart hammered. "Min-jun. I know what we agreed."
Fake. 3 days.
"Then you walk away with your money and I go back to my life." He stepped closer, his free hand coming up to cup her jaw. "But I don't want that anymore." "What do you want?"
You. The word was raw, honest.
"I want more than this weekend. I want to know what this could be if we stopped pretending." "This is crazy," Amara whispered, even as she leaned into his touch. "We barely know each other." "I know you're brave.
Strong.
You see through all the carefully built walls straight to who I really am." His thumb stroked her cheek. "I know when you laugh, it's genuine. When you're nervous, you bite your lower lip. When you're angry, your eyes flash gold. You've been paying attention." "I can't stop." Min-jun's forehead touched hers.
Tell me I'm alone in this.
"Tell me you don't feel it too." Amara couldn't lie.
I feel it. God help me, I feel it.
His breath shuddered out.
Then stay.
"Not because I'm paying you. Not because of our deal. Stay because you want to see where this goes. Your world is dangerous. I'll keep you safe. Your family will learn to accept you." His hands framed her face. "Or they'll deal with me. Amara, I haven't felt like this in ever. Don't ask me to let you go before we even start." The vulnerability in his voice shattered her defenses. "What about the money? The contract?"
Keep it.
"It's yours regardless." Min-jun's lips brushed her forehead. "This isn't about that anymore. This is about you and me." Amara looked up at him, seeing past the dangerous Mafia boss to the man beneath. The one who protected his sister. Who listened when she talked. Who touched her like she was precious.
I'm terrified, she admitted.
"So am I." His honesty floored her. "But I'd rather be terrified with you than safe and alone." "That might be the most romantic thing anyone's ever said to me." Min-jun's smile was soft, real. "I have my moments." Then he was kissing her again, but this time it was different.
Slower. Deeper.
Not for show but for them. Amara's hands slid up his chest, feeling his heart racing beneath her palms. His jacket hit the floor. Her hands worked the buttons of his shirt.
Amara.
Her name was a question, a plea. "I want this," she breathed against his lips.
I want you.
Min-jun groaned, lifting her, her legs wrapping around his waist. He carried her to the massive bed, laying her down with surprising gentleness. His body covered hers, solid and warm, and for a moment he just looked at her. "You're sure?" "I'm sure."
She pulled him down for another kiss.
"No more pretending.
Just us."
What followed was a blur of heat and need. Min-jun worshipped every inch of her skin, his hands and mouth learning her body like scripture. When he finally entered her, they both gasped, the connection deeper than just physical. "Look at me," he commanded softly, and Amara met his gaze. What she saw there stole her breath, raw emotion, desperate need, something that looked dangerously like love. They moved together, building toward something overwhelming. Min-jun's control frayed, his movements becoming urgent, and Amara shattered in his arms, crying out his name. He followed moments later, burying his face in her neck, her name a prayer on his lips. After, they lay tangled together, skin to skin, hearts still racing. Min-jun traced patterns on her back, his touch gentle. "I don't want you in the other room," he murmured.
Stay here. With me. Okay.
Amara pressed a kiss to his chest. "But Min-jun? Your mother is going to know."
Good.
His arms tightened. "Let her know. Let everyone know. You're mine now." The possessiveness should have bothered her. Instead, it sent warmth through her entire body. "Yours. Unless you object?" His eyes found hers,
vulnerable.
I don't object. Amara smiled. As long as it goes both ways. Always.
He kissed her softly. I'm yours, Amara.
Completely. They made love again, slower this time, savoring each touch. Afterward, Amara dozed in his arms, feeling safer than she had in years. She woke to find Min-jun watching her in the dim light, his expression soft.
Can't sleep? She asked.
Don't want to miss this. His fingers traced her face. Afraid I'll wake up and you'll be gone. I'm not going anywhere. Promise me. His intensity returned. Promise me this is real. That tomorrow, when the wedding is over, you won't disappear. I promise.
Amara kissed him.
But Min-jun, we need to talk about reality. Your life, your business. I'll tell you everything. When we get back to the city, I'll show you my world. The truth of it. He hesitated. It might scare you. Then we'll figure it out together. Relief flooded his face. Together. I like that word. They talked for hours, sharing secrets in the darkness. Min-jun told her about his father's death, the weight of responsibility, the violence he'd witnessed. Amara shared her fears about her business, her broken engagement, her dreams for the future.
I want to meet your family, Min-jun said.
Your grandmother in Lagos. Your friends. Everyone who matters to you. That's a big step.
I know.
He pulled her closer.
But I'm serious about this.
About us. I want to do this right. Your mother is never going to approve of me. My mother will learn to. Min-jun's jaw set. I've spent my whole life doing what was expected. Following the rules. Building the empire my father wanted. For once, I'm choosing something just for me. And I choose you. The declaration made Amara's eyes sting. I choose you too. They made love once more as dawn broke, softer this time, almost reverent. When they finally slept, it was tangled together completely, no space between them. Amara woke to sunlight and the smell of coffee. Min-jun stood by the window in just his pants, looking out over the grounds, his phone to his ear. His voice was low, dangerous. I don't care what he wants. Tell Nakamura if he approaches her again. It's war. Yes, I'm aware of the consequences. She's under my protection now.
Permanently.
Make sure everyone knows. He ended the call and turned, softening when he saw her awake. Morning, beautiful. Was that about last night? Nakamura crossed a line. I'm making sure he understands there are consequences. Min-jun joined her on the bed, pressing coffee into her hands. How do you feel?
Sore. Happy. Terrified.
Amara sipped the coffee. Did we really do this? We really did. He kissed her temple. And I don't regret a second. Even though it complicates everything? Especially because it complicates everything. Min-jun's smile was genuine. I've spent too long keeping things simple.
Safe.
You make me want to risk it all. A knock interrupted them. Jiwoo's voice called through the door. Appa? Breakfast in 30 minutes. Mother wants everyone there before we leave.
We'll be there, Min-jun called back.
Then, quieter to Amara, ready to face the family? This time for real. Amara thought about Sunhee's disapproval, Uncle Tae's calculating stares, Yuri's jealousy. Then she looked at Min-jun, at the man who'd shown her his vulnerable side, who'd chosen her over duty. With you? I'm ready for anything. He kissed her, deep and thorough. That's my girl. As they dressed for breakfast, Amara caught their reflection in the mirror. Min-jun's arms around her waist, his chin on her shoulder, both of them smiling. They looked like a real couple. They were a real couple.
What happens now? She asked. Now we go downstairs. We face my family.
And then we go home and figure out how to make this work. Min-jun met her eyes in the mirror. One day at a time. Together. Together, Amara agreed, turning in his arms for one more kiss before they faced the world. Whatever came next, they'd face it together. And somehow, that made even the impossible seem manageable. Breakfast was a minefield. Sunhee sat at the head of the table, her sharp gaze cataloging every detail, Min-jun's hand on Amara's lower back, the way they sat closer than necessary, the kiss he pressed to her temple before sitting down. You both look well rested, Sunhee said, her tone suggesting the opposite. We are, Min-jun replied evenly, his hand finding Amara's under the table. The wedding was beautiful, Ji-woo. His sister beamed, blissfully unaware of the tension.
It was perfect.
And you two were so sweet together. Everyone was talking about that kiss. I'm sure they were, Sunny said coolly. She turned to Amara. I'd like to speak with you.
Privately.
After breakfast. It wasn't a request. Min-jun's hand tightened on hers. Mother. Alone, Min-jun.
Sunny's smile was ice.
Surely you trust me with your girlfriend for a few minutes? The word girlfriend was loaded with skepticism. Amara squeezed Min-jun's hand reassuringly. It's fine. I'll be right outside, he murmured to her, his eyes promising protection. After the meal, Sunhee led Amara to a private sitting room filled with antiques and afternoon light. She poured tea with precise movements, then fixed Amara with a stare that could cut glass. Let's dispense with pretense. How much do you want?
Amara blinked.
Excuse me?
To walk away.
To end this charade with my son. Sunhee sipped her tea. Name your price. I'll double whatever he's paying you. The words hit like a slap. You think I'm with Min-jun for money? Aren't you? A struggling caterer suddenly attached to one of the wealthiest men in the city. Sunny's laugh was cold. I wasn't born yesterday, Miss Williams. I know what this is. You don't know anything. Anger flared in Amara's chest. Min-jun and I. My son is ruled by duty, by responsibility. This rebellion, this fantasy with you, it will pass. Sunhee leaned forward. When it does, you'll be discarded. Save yourself the pain. Take the money now. I don't want your money. Everyone wants money, dear. Some are just better at pretending otherwise. Sunny pulled out a check, already written. $500,000. This is more than generous.
Take it.
Leave today. My son will recover. Amara stared at the check, her hands shaking. That money could save her business, set her up for years. But looking at it made her feel sick.
No. She pushed it back.
I'm not leaving Min-jun. Not for any amount of money. How noble.
Sunhee's eyes narrowed.
Tell me, does he know about your debts? Your failing business? Or did you conveniently forget to mention those details? He knows everything. Does he? Does he know you signed a contract with him? That this whole weekend was a transaction? Sunhee's smile was cruel. Or have you convinced yourself this fantasy is real? Before Amara could respond, the door opened. Min-jun stood there, fury written across every line of his body. That's enough, mother. Min-jun, we were just talking. I heard every word. He crossed to Amara, pulling her to her feet, his arm protective around her waist. Let me make this clear. Amara isn't going anywhere. What we have is real. And if you ever try to buy her off again, contract or not, you'll answer to me. Sunhee stood, her composure cracking. You're making a mistake. This girl is using you.
No.
You're making a mistake by assuming everyone operates like you do. Min-jun's voice was ice. I love her. Whether you approve or not is irrelevant. The words hung in the air.
Love. He'd said love. Amara's heart stopped.
Sunny's face paled.
You don't mean that.
I've never meant anything more. Min-jun looked down at Amara, his expression softening. I love you. I should have said it last night, but I'm saying it now. I love you, Amara. Tears stung Amara's eyes. Min-jun. We're leaving. He guided her toward the door.
Come on.
They made it to the foyer before Uncle Tae blocked their path, his expression grave. Min-jun. We have a problem.
Not now. Now.
Tae's voice dropped. Nakamura made a move. He's taken one of our shipments. Claims it's retaliation for disrespect. Min-jun went still. Dangerous. What kind of shipment? The sensitive kind. If it reaches the wrong people, it could destroy everything your father built. Amara felt Min-jun's entire body tense. This was his world. The dangerous part he'd warned her about. I need to handle this, he said to her, his voice tight. It could take hours. Then I'm coming with you. Absolutely not.
This is business.
Dangerous business. I'm not leaving you. Amara gripped his jacket. You said together, remember? This isn't what I meant. I don't care.
She met his eyes steadily.
I'm in this now.
All of it, good and bad.
Something shifted in Min-jun's expression.
Pride. Love. Fear.
You don't know what you're asking. Then show me. Trust me enough to let me in. Uncle Tae cleared his throat. We don't have time for this. The meet is in 2 hours. Downtown Warehouse District. Min-jun studied Amara for a long moment, then nodded.
Fine.
But you stay in the car. No arguments. No arguments, she agreed, though they both knew she was lying. The drive into the city was tense. Min-jun made calls in rapid Korean, his voice hard and commanding. This was the side of him he'd kept hidden, the ruthless businessman, the leader of an empire built on shadows. When they reached the warehouse district, multiple black cars were already waiting. Men in suits, all armed, all radiating danger. Min-jun turned to Amara.
Stay here. Lock the doors.
If anything goes wrong, the driver will get you out. Promise me. Min-jun.
Promise me, Amara.
I need to know you're safe or I can't think straight in there. She saw the fear beneath his command. I promise. Be careful. He kissed her, hard and desperate. I love you. Remember that. Then he was gone, disappearing into the warehouse with his men. Amara watched through the tinted windows, her heart in her throat. Minutes crawled by. Then she heard it, shouting.
Gunfire. Her heart stopped.
The driver tensed. Miss Williams, we need to go. Not without Min-jun. Mr. Park's orders were clear. More gunfire. Then an explosion that shook the car. Amara's decision was instant and stupid. She threw open the door and ran toward the warehouse. Miss Williams, no. She burst through the door into chaos. Men fighting. Smoke everywhere. She heard Min-jun's voice shouting in Korean. Following the sound, she found him pinned down behind crates, blood on his shoulder, facing 3 of Nakamura's men. Amara, what the hell? His face went white when he saw her.
Get out.
One of Nakamura's men turned, raising his gun. Everything slowed. Min-jun moved, but he was too far away. The gun aimed at Amara. Then Uncle Tae was there, taking the shot meant for her. He went down hard. Min-jun exploded into motion. What followed was brutal and efficient. Within seconds, Nakamura's men were disarmed, unconscious, or fleeing. Min-jun reached Amara, grabbing her shoulders, shaking. Are you insane? You could have been killed. You were in danger. So you ran toward gunfire? His voice cracked. Amara, if something happened to you. He pulled her into a crushing embrace, his body shaking. Around them, his men secured the scene. Medics rushed to Uncle Tae. I'm sorry, Amara whispered. I couldn't just wait. I couldn't.
I know.
Min-jun's hand cupped her face, his eyes wild.
God, I know.
But you can't do that again. I can't lose you. Police sirens wailed in the distance. Min-jun's lieutenant appeared.
Boss, we need to go. Now.
They were ushered into a different car, speeding away before authorities arrived. Min-jun held Amara the entire ride, his blood seeping through his shirt, his breathing uneven.
Hospital, Amara said.
You're hurt. I'm fine. You're bleeding. I said I'm fine. But his grip on her tightened. Amara, what you saw back there is part of who you are. She looked up at him. I'm not running, Min-jun.
Even after this.
Even knowing the danger. You should run. Any sane person would. Then I guess I'm not sane. She touched his face gently. I love you. I should have said it this morning, but I'm saying it now. I love you, Min-jun Park. All of you. Even the dangerous parts. His eyes closed, relief and pain warring on his face. You're going to destroy me. Or save you. Maybe both. He kissed her, tasting of smoke and desperation. We need to leave the city. Nakamura won't stop now. He'll come after you to hurt me. So what do we do? Min-jun's expression hardened. We end this. Once and for all. The car pulled up to a secure location. As they climbed out, Amara realized the complications were just beginning. But looking at Min-jun, bloodied and fierce in hers, she knew she'd made the right choice. Love was worth fighting for. Even when the fight was literally life and death. The safe house was a penthouse apartment in a building Min-jun owned under a shell company. Luxury surrounded them, but Amara barely noticed. She watched as Min-jun's personal doctor stitched his shoulder, her hands still shaking from the warehouse. "It's just a graze," Min-jun said, his eyes on her face. "I've had worse." "That's not comforting." "It wasn't meant to be." He winced as the doctor tied off the stitches. "It's the truth.
This is my life, Amara. Violence. Danger.
Always looking over my shoulder." Then we looked together. The doctor finished and left. Min-jun pulled on a fresh shirt, moving stiffly. His phone buzzed constantly, reports, updates, damage control. Uncle Tae was in surgery but stable. Nakamura had disappeared. The warehouse was clean. "I need to meet with the other families," Min-jun said, staring out at the city lights. Nakamura's move was bold. "It means he has backing. Someone wants to destabilize our operations." "What happens at this meeting?"
"We negotiate.
"Or we go to war." His shoulders were tense. "Either way, it gets uglier before it gets better." Amara crossed to him, wrapping her arms around him from behind. "What do you need from me?"
"To stay here. Stay safe."
"Let me handle this." "You're asking me to sit on the sidelines while you walk into danger." Min-jun turned, his hands framing her face. "I'm asking you to trust me. I've navigated this world my entire life. But I can't focus if I'm worried about you. And I can't breathe if I'm wondering whether you're alive." "Amara," his phone rang. He glanced at it and cursed. "It's my mother." He answered, his conversation brief and terse in Korean. When he hung up, his expression was grim. "She's calling a family meeting.
Tonight.
Everyone will be there, my mother, the board, our key allies. She wants to discuss leadership."
He met Amara's eyes.
"She's going to try to remove me." "She can do that." "If she has enough support, yes. My father's will left control to me, but there are clauses. If the family votes no confidence."
He trailed off. "It's a coup."
"She's using today's incident as evidence I'm too distracted."
"By me."
"By anything that isn't the business." Min-jun's jaw clenched. "She'll argue I've become a liability. That my judgment is compromise." "Is she right?"
His eyes flashed. "No."
"But she's not completely wrong either. Before you, I lived for the business. Nothing else mattered.
Now."
He pulled her closer. "Now I want more.
A life.
A future that isn't just empire building and bloodshed.
So fight for it.
Fight for us. If I fight her, I split the family. Create weakness Nakamura can exploit. People will die. And if you don't fight?" Min-jun's silence was answer enough. If he stepped down, his mother would choose his successor. Probably someone traditional. Someone who would marry Yuri or another alliance match. Someone who would forget Amara existed. "I won't let her take you from me," Amara said fiercely. "You might not have a choice." "There's always a choice." She gripped his shirt. "We can run. Leave this all behind. Start over somewhere they can't find us." For a moment, Min-jun looked tempted. Then he shook his head.
"I can't.
My sister, my people, everyone who depends on me, I can't just abandon them. Even if staying costs us everything? Even then." His eyes were tormented.
"I'm sorry."
"I know what I'm asking of you." Amara understood. This was who he was, a man bound by duty, by responsibility to something bigger than himself. She'd known it from the start. But understanding didn't make it hurt less. "Then we go to the meeting," she said. "Together. We face your family together. They'll tear you apart. Let them try." Amara's spine straightened. "I'm not some fragile thing that breaks under pressure. I survived debt, heartbreak, and building a business from nothing. I can survive your mother's disapproval." "Mother will hate that." "Mother hates everything I do," Amara said without heat. "But she's learning to live with it." The truth was more complicated. Sunhee remained formal, distant, but she'd stopped actively sabotaging their relationship. Min-jun said it was progress. Amara would take what she could get. Guests began arriving, friends, family, food critics, business associates from Min-jun's legitimate operations. Amara changed into a stunning gold dress, her engagement ring catching the light. The diamond was enormous, but Min-jun had insisted. Everyone should know you're mine, he'd said, that possessive edge she'd come to love creeping into his voice. When Min-jun arrived, her breath caught. He wore a perfectly tailored suit, his hair styled back, looking every inch the powerful businessman. But his eyes were soft when they found her. "There's my beautiful fiancée," he murmured, pulling her close for a kiss. "Nervous?" "Less now that you're here."
"Good.
"Because I brought someone." He stepped aside, revealing an elegant older woman with kind eyes and Amara's smile. "Grandma?"
Amara's voice broke.
"Surprise." Her grandmother opened her arms. "Did you think I'd miss my baby girl's big night?" Amara flew into her embrace, tears streaming. "You're supposed to be in Lagos."
"How?" "Your youngman flew me out."
"First class." Her grandmother held her face, studying her. "Let me see this man who's stolen your heart." Min-jun stepped forward, respectful. "Mrs. Williams. It's an honor." "Call me Adiz. And come here so I can see you properly." She looked him up and down, then smiled. "Handsome. Rich, I hear. But more importantly, do you make my granddaughter happy?" "Every day," Min-jun said simply. "Or I try to." "Good answer." Adiz patted his cheek. "Treat her well, or you answer to me." "Yes, ma'am." The opening was a triumph. Critics raved. Guests devoured every dish. Amara moved through the crowd, accepting congratulations, but her eyes kept finding Min-jun. He stood with Uncle Tae and some business associates, but his gaze followed her constantly, protective and proud. Later, when the crowd thinned, he found her in the kitchen. "Come with me." "Min-jun, I can't leave." "5 minutes. Trust me." He led her to the roof, where fairy lights had been strung between planters. The city sparkled below them, alive with possibility. A small table was set with champagne and strawberries. "When did you do this?" Amara asked, amazed. "I have my ways." He pulled out her chair. "I wanted a moment. Just us. To celebrate properly." They sat under the stars, his hand holding hers across the table. "I'm proud of you," Min-jun said. "What you've built here, what you've accomplished, it's remarkable. I couldn't have done it without you." "Yes, you could have. Maybe it would have taken longer, been harder, but you'd have done it. You're the strongest person I know." His thumb stroked her ring finger. "I'm the lucky one. You chose me. Knowing everything, seeing the worst parts, you still chose me." "And you chose me." A struggling caterer with more debt than sense. "The woman who saw past the dangerous exterior to who I really am." Min-jun raised his glass. "To us. To new beginnings." They toasted, and Amara felt peace settle over her. This was real. This life they were building together, messy and complicated and perfect. "I have something for you," Min-jun said. He produced a small envelope. Inside was a deed. "It's the building. The restaurant. In your name. I know you worried about being dependent on me financially. This is yours. Completely. No matter what happens between us." Min-jun, her voice caught. "That's too much." "It's not enough. But it's a start." He came around the table, kneeling beside her chair. "You took a chance on me, Amara. A dangerous man with a complicated life. You walked into my world and didn't flinch. You made me want to be better. Do better. I love you more than I thought possible." "I love you too." She cupped his face. "Even when you're overprotective and bossy and think you know best." "I do know best," he said with a hint of arrogance, then grinned. "But I'm working on it." They returned to the party, but stayed close, his arm around her waist, her head on his shoulder. Sunhee appeared late, surveying the restaurant with critical eyes. "It's adequate," she said finally. From her, it was practically a rave review. Min-jun's hand tightened on Amara's waist, but Amara stepped forward. "Thank you for coming, Mrs. Park. It means a lot." Sunny studied her for a long moment. "You make my son happy." "I see that now." "Perhaps I was hasty in my judgment." It wasn't an apology, but it was close. Amara accepted it with grace. "He makes me happy too." "Good. Because if you break his heart, I'll destroy you." "Mother," Min-jun warned. But Amara smiled. "If I break his heart, I'll deserve it." Something shifted in Sunhee's expression.
Almost respect.
Perhaps you will fit into this family after all. When she left, Min-jun exhaled. That went better than expected. Baby steps, Amara agreed. The night wound down, and finally they were alone in Min-jun's car, heading home to the penthouse they now shared. Amara had moved in a month ago, her things mixing with his, creating a space that was uniquely theirs. Tired? Min-jun asked, his hand on her thigh.
Exhausted. Happy.
So incredibly happy.
Good.
He pulled her closer. Because tomorrow, we start planning the wedding.
Small and intimate, you said.
I'm thinking next month. Next month? That's so soon. I've waited long enough. I want you as my wife, Amara. Officially.
Permanently.
She looked at him, this man who'd been a stranger just months ago, who'd offered her money and accidentally offered his heart. Next month works. His smile was brilliant. I love you. I love you too. They drove through the city, past her restaurant, past the Park family estate, toward their future. 3 months ago, Amara had been desperate, alone, drowning in debt. She'd signed a contract to pretend to be someone's girlfriend for a weekend. Now she was engaged to a man who challenged her, protected her, loved her fiercely. She had a successful restaurant, a family that was slowly accepting her, and a future that looked nothing like she'd planned but everything like she'd needed. What are you thinking?
Min-jun asked.
That I'd do it all again. Every moment. Every complication. All of it. Even the warehouse shooting?
Even that.
Because it led here.
To us.
Min-jun brought her hand to his lips. Best $50,000 I ever spent. You didn't spend it. You gave it to me. Semantics. His eyes gleamed. Though I definitely got the better end of that deal. At home, they made love slowly, savoring each touch, each whispered promise. Afterward, tangled together in their bed, Amara felt complete. Mrs. Park, Min-jun murmured against her hair. I like the sound of that.
We're not married yet. Soon.
His arms tightened. Soon you'll be mine in every way that matters.
I'm already yours, Amara said softly. I have been since that first kiss.
Maybe even before.
I know. I'm yours too. Completely.
Forever. Forever. It had sounded impossible once. Now it sounded like a promise she couldn't wait to keep.
Outside, the city glowed.
Inside, they held each other, two people who'd found love in the most unexpected place. A fake date that became real. A transaction that became a love story. And as Amara drifted off to sleep in Min-jun's arms, she smiled. Sometimes the best things in life came from taking crazy chances. From saying yes to dangerous strangers. From believing that love could bloom even in the darkest soil. Their story had started with a deal. It would continue with a wedding, a life, a future built together.
And it would be perfect.
Messy and complicated and absolutely perfect.
Just like them.
If you crave more tales where danger and desire collide, subscribe to this channel for your next sinful audio escape.